Hi, welcome or welcome back. My name is Carson if you are new here, and this is my YouTube channel where I chat about knitting mostly. But today I am chatting about knitting, pretty much exclusively. I have a podcast for you. I am back yet again with another podcast, and I have quite a few finished objects, started wrapping up projects, and I also have a whip that I'm excited to show you all about, so yeah, let's just get started. Alrighty, I have yet another podcast for you. I have some projects that I wrapped up, a few finished objects. One is very surprising, or at least might surprise you because it was not shown previously. I had not worked on it, and it surprised me as well that it exists right now, that I'm staring at it. But I'll show that in a minute. And I also have a whip that I'm excited to share with y'all. And so let me just show something, I guess. Y'all might have seen these before if you watched my last podcast. These were a whip. Got a little dog hair, which is in all my things. These are my High Desert Socks by Lindsay Fowler. And look how pretty and speckledy. These are DK weight socks. I talked a lot about them in my last podcast, so if you're interested in like hearing more in depth about my experience, you can go check that out. But just like to wrap it up, they're really fun. It knit up a lot faster than I was used to. I've knit some worsted weight socks before and like Aran weight, and I didn't expect DK weight to be as quickly as they were, like knit up faster than fingering weight, because I usually knit fingering weight socks, and I was shocked. I was shocked. I am using kind of a medley of special yarns. Well, two special yarns. One is Cascade Heritage, which I enjoy. It's not like that special though. And then the other two, this teal color is from Amanda from Birch and Lily. She gifted this to me. It's called Petrichor, I think is how you say it. And then it's just a really pretty teal color. It's also super soft. And then for this mauve color, it's from my sock swap partner, and it's I showed the label last time. I want to say it's Yarnaceous, but I could be wrong. I don't even know where that skein is. So those are the colors. I love the contrast. So I actually held two yarns. I held yarn double for this to make DK socks. Two fingering weight yarns double. Alas, like Marl DK, and I love them. They're so fun. I've already worn them once. I blocked them, then I wore them, and then I washed them, and I blocked them again. So they've already seen some wear, and they're so cozy, so soft. Honestly, no bad things to say about this pattern. Oh, it's so soft. They're so soft. I did mess up on one of the socks. I somehow got my count off. I had the right amount of stitches, like in the round, but my instep, what's the other part? Heel, something was off, which it was fine. Like I ended up fixing it, and I don't feel it when I wear the socks that like the count's a little weird. But the second sock I did right. And yeah, I love them. They're just ribbed. They have thick ribbing, and I really enjoy knit. I don't even know if you can really see that because of the marl, but you can see it more whenever it's on my leg and it's kind of stretched out. But it has really thick ribbing, which I liked the cadence of, because you mostly knit and just purl, every now and then. So I enjoyed that. It was very, not relaxing, but like hypnotic to be in that like cadence of knits and purls. But just a little aside there, and I love these guys. I'm calling these my Empire of Storm socks. I'm reading a tandem read right now. I'm reading Empire of Storms, which is Sarah J. Maas, Throne of Glass series. And I'm calling these my Empire of Storm socks. I'm reading this with another book, Tower of Dawn, at the same time. Long story. But doesn't it look very similar? It has purples and blues. And it's fun because I'm reading this. I was reading this, and I still am, while I was knitting these. And now sometimes I'll put them on and read while I wear them. So these are my Empire of Storm socks. And I love them. I want to knit more socks, like based off of books I'm either reading or books I enjoy, book covers. I love book covers. I know they say to never judge a book by its cover, but there is something special about like a very nicely designed book cover, in my opinion. And yeah, I love. So that's my first finished object. Let's see. Oh, my next one. This is my Sailor Beanie by Sorry Nordland. Look how hip she looks. Wow. I did talk about this on my last podcast too, because it was a whip. But this is a top down beanie, which was a first for me, and I think it will be first of many. I really like the top down. I like that you could try it on and kind of see what your preferred length was, how long you wanted it. And yeah, this has only 2 points of decreases at the top, which makes this very pointy hat. As you can see, there's no decrease. Like, a lot of hats will have either 4 or 6 decreases spread around throughout the round, if that makes any sense, to get to the point. And this is actually 2 increases because it was top down. But yeah, you can kind of see them here. And they're so just like, I don't know, they're so polished. I think I've said that in the last podcast. I kept saying polished about this hat, but it's knit in a very tight gauge. Or not very tight, but just tight. I want to say it was either US 3 or US 4 needle I used for this. I can't remember. I need to take more notes, or like just remember things better. But this is a worsted weight pattern with a smaller gauge, or like a tighter gauge. So it just makes the knits and purls really tight. This is, what is this, 2x2? Yeah, 2x2, which I enjoy. And I ended up, the last podcast I think I left off, I was almost done with the brim and I needed to cast off. But the original pattern is a double folded beanie. I don't need that where I live in Texas. And so I just wanted one fold, but I didn't know what to do about the cast off because I wanted it to look nice. I ended up doing a Italian bind off, but before that I just set up, because it's 2x2 and the Italian bind off is made for 1x1 casting off. So I found a tutorial online. I think the same day of my podcast I casted this off. I found a tutorial online and it was really easy. You just swap around your knits and your purls so that it is in a 1x1 sequence, and then you do the Italian bind off. I'm trying to think what else. It's been a week or 2 since I finished this, but I actually wore it to the park. I'm wearing a ponytail, so it's probably not the best hairstyle for this hat. This is my hat. She's cool, right? I posted this on Instagram and I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm a gnome or if this is a hip. I think the pointy hats are in style right now, though. Not that you have to like be in style, but I feel like I just see a lot of people with pointy hats and I like it on them, so I just wanted to try it out. And I think I like it. I don't know if I'll make more. I think maybe I just need like one pointy hat, and then I'm good. But I mean, I like it. I think it's fun. I'm trying to like see the point. You can definitely see it probably from that angle, but yeah, it's fun. I like it. It has a really thick brim, which I really like and enjoy. And it keeps my head warm. I love the color, y'all know. Well, if you watch, you know I love Carhartt brown. And this is just... I actually wore this with some Carhartt overalls to the park, and I just felt like, I don't know, very cool. Even though I'm definitely dorky and not cool, but it's a good time. It was fun. I enjoyed wearing when I knit, like right after I cast it off, and it got a little warmer here. Like, it might be beanie weather right now, but I can wear it again. I like it. So yeah, if you're interested in like a pointy top down beanie pattern and you had some worsted weight yarn on hand, this would be a really good one. I like it. I definitely want to knit more top down hats. I think Sari just came out with the Archer beanie, which looks so nice. It kind of has a point, I think, similar to this, not the same construction. I don't believe with like 2 points of increases, but it has like the same look of the pointy hat, and it has like, I'm trying to remember, I can literally see it in my head, but it has very thick ribbing. It just looks so nice. So yeah, that's that. Rolling right through these. Wow, this is probably gonna be a quick one because I'm already halfway done, but it's okay. Okay, this next one. So, backstory. I wanted to knit Wilder a bear for Christmas. That did not happen. But I did get the yarn for it around November, and I knew it would be kind of ambitious. I didn't really know what pattern exactly I wanted to knit him. I found a few free ones, and they all use like a super bulky weight, like furry yarn or clayish yarn, and so I got some... I just found the label. Oh, I got some Loops and Threads faux fur yarn. You can kind of see it right there. Well, I'm about to show you what I made, but I got some of this yarn. I got 2 balls, And then I was really intimidated, and I started reading and I couldn't stop. So I did not make him a bear, but I'm glad I didn't because I was sitting, what was I doing? I honestly don't remember how I came across this pattern. Let me show you. I've been rambling about it. I just need to show the big reveal. I knit him a puppy dog. Oh my gosh. It is so furry, so fluffy. The fluff kind of gets in the way of the details, so let me just smooth down his fluff. This is Harry the puppy. I'm trying to recall the designer. I found this on Etsy. I'll put everything in the description down below along with the link to the Etsy shop in which I found this guy. But this is Harry the pup. He has a tail. And I'm in shock that a week ago all I had were 2 balls of the super fluffy yarn, and then today I'm staring at a puppy. It's wild. That is the power of knitting. It is so wild. Oh, I have not given this to Wilder. My thought was to give it to him for Valentine's Day, but he is literally 1. He doesn't know holidays, so I should just give it to him early. This is editing Carson from the future. I just wanted to note that I was weak that same day. Literally the moment he woke up from his nap that he was taking, as I was filming, I gave Wilder his little stuffed dog and he loved it. He squeezed it and drug it around by the ears, and it was just so cute. But that's kind of why I made this red little bandana out of scraps. So I'll get back into my story. I somehow stumbled across on Etsy. I don't know if I was on Etsy. I don't usually go on Etsy unless I'm actively buying a gift. I guess I was just browsing, but I saw a pattern for this puppy and I was like, oh my gosh, I have yarn. And Wilder loves dogs. I don't know if I've talked about his love of dogs on here before, but he thinks he's a dog. We have 2 dogs, Hondo and Lefty. Hondo's older and he's not like the biggest fan of Wilder. Like, he tolerates him. He doesn't like actively seek him out to play or anything, but Lefty loves Wilder and Wilder loves Lefty, and he loves Hondo too, but they are just like the best of friends and it's so cute. They'll just like snuggle together and then they'll play with the dog toys together. Wilder's even tried to like grab his bone before. And Wilder's also tried to drink out of the dog bowl like a dog. His first word ever, well, besides like dada, mama, rambly, but like his first word was dog. He says gog, but it means dog. And he literally wakes up in the morning and he goes gog, gog, gog. Like he wants to see his gosh dang dogs. And so that is why I saw this pattern. I was like, this would be perfect because he loves dogs. And I mean, here she is. Harry is here. What can I say other than I almost had some breakdowns? This yarn is so hard to work with. I bought the pattern, did not swatch. I just bought the yarn too. I mean, I knew it would be difficult to work with because it looks like fur, like your stitches get lost. But the pattern, 10 out of 10. I will say if you like are familiar with terms or like, the pattern does not hold your hand in any way, but it is very clear, very to the point. So I think if you're an adventurous knitter, I would recommend it. But I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was so simple too, what I loved about it as well. So you do knit things in pieces. You actually knit the front body, like this half, all in one piece, besides the ear and the muzzle. And then you knit the back half, besides the tail, and then you seam those 2 together. And then you knit the snout, and then you seam that on, and you knit the ears, seam them on, and then you knit the tail and you seam it on. The one thing, so usually I stray far away from anything with seaming because I hate trying to get it to look invisible. Like, I'm just not good at being calm enough and being still enough to like take my time to seam right. But this, you don't really have to. I mean, as long as it's secure, your stitches are hidden. Like, you can't see anything. It's just, the fluff adds to it. The seaming adds if you seam with the same yarn, which I did. And I mean, it just looks like fluff. It's a puppy with fluff. Like, I don't know. So that was really nice about the seaming. But the yarn, oh my gosh. Seaming the yarn was really hard. I used the same yarn to seam with, and it's so thick. So it's super bulky, but it's almost like 3 strands of a blown yarn with fur attached, twisted together, and it comes untwisted very easily. So sometimes you end up with 3 strands. That's also why sometimes I would split my yarn whenever I would knit, but I wouldn't really know because you can't see your stitches. You have to feel. So I almost had lots of breakdowns, literally just trying to get the yarn in my darning needle or in my sewing needle. I had 3 like jumbo ones, and they're all not broken, but like bent because it was so hard. And also the fur gets tangly, so you would go to seam it and like find, you know, an obvious stitch to put it through, but if that fur was tangly, then you could not pull it through. Yeah, I almost had some breakdowns. And also knitting it, whenever I first cast it on, I cast it on and immediately I was like, I don't know why I bought this pattern. I don't know why I bought this yarn. I'm about to quit because like I can't see my stitches. So I had to learn how to feel them and kind of like, yeah, like learn a different way to determine what I was doing. What else? So yeah, I mean, it was worth it in the end though. I don't know how the yarn's gonna hold up. Let me say that. It has been shedding quite a bit, just like fluff has been flying. So I did save all my extra yarn just in case I have to like reinforce it, which I'm glad I did because the ears, I don't know if I didn't sew it good enough, but this ear is like very floppy. I think it's about to come off. So I need to redo that. But yeah, it was tough to work with. The yarn was tough, and this is not the recommended yarn. The recommended yarn looks similar. I think it's a cedar, I'm not real sure how to say that word, yarn, and it looks similar, like with the same effect, but I mean, I can't speak for that yarn. That yarn might be a little bit easier, but I feel like all yarns that have furriness to them, or even boucle yarns, are tough to work with, at least until you get the hang of it. But by the end of this, I was pretty confident. So it just took me a while. It took me a few cast-ons. I also had to increase, just like I just K through front, K through back, increase, because like you can't see a make one left, make one right, you know? It's not, you can't see that. Your stitches are hidden. But yeah, that was a little tough. And like there was also parts where I had to K3 together, and I almost cried doing that because like I could not get the yarn to pull through and like grab my stitch. But it was rewarding to see this knit up because it's so fluffy and so bulky. Like you knit on it for 5 minutes and you can see the dog coming to life. So I knit this in a week. I did not like spend a whole day on it or anything. I just knit on it for like an hour or 2 every night. It kind of took up my knitting time this week. I mean my reading time this week. But I just knit on it. Like I made a point to knit on it every single day because I was excited about it. Like I saw the dog start to form. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so cute, and like Wilder's gonna love it. And I've just loved the idea of giving him something, a toy that's handmade, because unlike a sweater, he won't really grow out of it until he's much older, and like even then it might become an heirloom or something. Like I don't know. I wanted to add more toys, but this was a really good start. I mean, look, and then I also just used some DMC embroidery floss, some thick, it's pretty thick. I mean, it looks like DK weight yarn maybe, for the nose and the mouth and the eyes, and I just kind of wung it. Like I did not use any techniques. I did have to I did have to embroider quite a bit. Like I kept going over and over and over it, especially for the nose, because the fluff is so fluffy. It still kind of peeks through. I actually went in and like used tiny craft scissors to cut some of the fur in the nose because it was like peeking out. So yeah, that took a bit. I do feel like I was better with this project about taking my time, especially for these details. I started over a few times and I tried really hard not to be frustrated. But I mean, altogether it was good. And I cannot get over this tail. Like look at how perky this tail is, a little booty. Oh my gosh. And then the pattern also comes with a little bandana pattern. You can knit it like within the same stuffy pattern, and so I just followed that to a T. It was really simple to do. I knit this in the car yesterday. I used some scrap yarn that I had in stash. I wanted it to be red because I feel like it kind of popped against the white fur, or the, I don't even know what color this is, goldenish fur. but also because I kind of want this to be for like Valentine's Day. Just something special for Wilder to keep. And I could even knit more colors of this. I started to knit it in the same color as my sailor beanie because it's Carhartt brown, and I might still do that and just swap them out. But I'm excited to give this to Wilder. I'm so afraid he's gonna absolutely destroy it. But that's okay. I would not be opposed to knitting this again in the future, but I don't want to like knit a million right now. I need a break. But I mean, I enjoyed this. I'm so excited about this guy. I keep showing him off because like I said, I'm in shock that a week ago I just had some really fluffy yarn laying around the house and now it's literally a dog. And I did stuff this. You do have to stuff it. I already had some fiberfill though from a different stuffy project. I think maybe from his little like what do you call those, softy blanket, that like deer that I made him last year whenever he was a baby. But so I had that left over. I just used that and here we are. I mean, wow. So yeah, okay, I'll stop talking about him, but this is just, this might be the thing I'm most proud of ever. Anyways, all that to say, if you're interested in making a stuffy, I think this would be a good one to start off with. I mean, this is like my first big stuffy project, and I think because the seaming, I mean, yes, it was difficult for me, the seaming, but like I didn't have to worry about the specific seaming technique I was using, really. Like I didn't have to worry about hiding stitches because the stitches hide themselves. Like, yeah, that's that guy. I love him. Hopefully Wilder will love him too. Okay, those are all my finished objects. I guess my whip is next. I have one more thing to show y'all, at least in the knitting category, but, or just like projects I'm working on. I am knitting my mom some socks for her birthday. She is not expecting these. I've never knit her socks before. This looks so long. Maybe not. Okay, sorry, I'm like assessing. I'm kind of to the part where I need to do the toe, but I know what size shoe my mom wears. I know she's a little bit larger than me, but I'm also worried I'm gonna knit it like too short or too long and it's gonna be too big. But anyways, these are the All the Frills socks by Summerly Knits. This is in her basic summer shorty bundle. I don't know. I knit on this guy in my knit and chat, my previous video, and I believe I linked it all there, which I'll link it all here again too, but I kind of talked about it there if you want to know more about it. But it's just a little shorty sock with a frill, which I've always wanted to do, so I'm excited to be doing this. This part was really fun to watch come to life. It's actually a really simple technique to do that, and I had no idea that was how you made a ruffle. So you just cast on a lot of stitches and then decrease. I guess it depends on how, you could probably make a really big ruffle if you just added more stitches and then decreased at a fast rate. I don't know, but I mean, that's basic ruffle math. And it's so cute. I like it. I am using this yarn. This is an acquisition. I went to the yarn store and I bought this for this project specifically. Oh, this is not the label I'm looking for. So this is called Lang J-Wall Cotton Stretch 4-ply. So it does have cotton there. It is 45% wool, 35% cotton, 13% polyamide or nylon, and 7% polyester. So I am curious, since this is a cotton, it has cotton in it, I'm curious if it's going to grow a lot after I block it, which is why I wonder if I should stop knitting the foot and start the toe now. I don't know. I guess I could block it as it is and see if it grows. But yeah, these are from my mom. They're fun to knit on. They're really low effort, and my goal of not being stressed out about deadlines is still happening. Like it's still a goal, and it's still an intention because like her birthday is in May, so I gave myself plenty of time to knit this, and I'm not stressed about it at all. So maybe I should start Christmas gifts right now. Wow, that would be smart, but I also don't really gift much anymore for Christmas. But yeah, this is a sock for my mom. She, like I said, she's not expecting this. Never knit her socks before. I've knit her hat before, but not socks, and I'm excited about it. I just hope it fits her foot. I hope the cotton doesn't stretch too much, and that's kind of the reason I made it in a cotton blend of sock yarn One, I really wanted to try it. I've never tried it before. I think it could be a nice not fabric. Yes, fabric, but fiber for Texas summers, and maybe we could, or maybe I could wear my socks more in the summer if I had some cotton socks. So this is kind of an experiment. I'm experimenting on my mom with these socks, and if she likes them, maybe I'll knit myself some cotton socks, or even my Nana. I just think these could be good to get use out of in May, around that time that I'm gonna actually be gifting these to her for her birthday. And yes, this is a gradient yarn, which I've never worked with before, and it looks almost like really big stripes from back here. I don't know if I personally love the way this looks, but I mean, in the end, it's just like a really fun sock, and this part's probably gonna be in her shoe anyways. So yeah, let me think. Let me compile my thoughts. I think the reason it looks like such a big color block to me is because it goes from dark pink, and there's not a whole lot of light pink section, and then white. And I'm kind of wondering if I should have pulled from the middle of the skein rather than just from the outside. I wonder what kind of effect that would have given. I guess it would just be reversed. I am kind of regretting not color managing and putting the white at the cuff, because the white just, I mean, it's how you knit the sock, right? Like, it's because of the construction of the heel flap and gusset that it ended up like this. Like, one color would have ended up like this unless I would have done a contrast color for the heel, but it's just, it's kind of odd. The gradient looks odd to me. I think it's because it's so dark pink and so light white, but there's not much of a middle ground in there. Like, it changes very quickly. But I still enjoy it. I'm enjoying knitting on it, and I think my mom will be really surprised, and hopefully she'll get good use out of these. That is what I'm working on. That's my only thing. I did, however, I'll talk about my other acquisition. So I did get this, and also got a really long set of US 1 needles from my yarn store, because I want to attempt. At first I was like, I want to attempt knitting socks 2 at a time, but now I'm like, I've barely done magic loop the right way, so maybe I should focus on knitting socks 1 at a time, magic loop. And that way I'll have, you know, these are my only set of US 1 needles that I really enjoy. They're part of a, what do you call that? Set. Like, they're interchangeable, and I have some wooden ones or some bamboo ones. I just don't enjoy those as much, so it would be nice to learn how to knit magic loop and enjoy it for socks, because then I would technically have another pair of needles I could use to cast on socks with. My other acquisition is this lovely, lovely basket. I got this basket at Joann's. I went in there for this embroidery floss, of course, embroidery thread, and I ended up getting more, but I don't normally do impulse buys, and so I really had to validate this in my mind. I saw it and I was like, this would be a good basket for yarn. It would be a good basket for Wilder's books, because we read books every night, and if they're just out and about, he'll want to read them all day, which, I mean, I'm fine with, but, you know, we also would like to play. So it would be easy just like pick it up and put it on his bed or something, kind of like out of reach, and then keep it back down for nighttime or whatever. But I also thought it would be good if I wanted to do like a bigger project with lots of yarn, like a blanket or even stripy socks, just to have it all in this bag, which I can just, you know, hold and take. And it'd be a good picnic basket, kind of, or at least a park basket, and then also it would be a cute Easter basket for Wilder, but it might be too big for that. I don't know. So there were lots of reasons I bought this basket, and I was like, yeah, I'll buy it. It was also half off. Big reason why I bought it as well. But I love this basket. Yeah, so I'm keeping all my projects in there right now, at least to show y'all. I did think this would be a good time to maybe bring out my other basket of yarn. I'm calling this my maybe I'll cast this on soon basket. Because I am down to 1 whip, and I usually have a couple more going just for fun, because I like to. And I think I'm sticking to knitting small things right now because I'm kind of afraid to cast on a sweater. I have this yarn, so this is my maybe I'll knit this next. Maybe I'll cast this on next pile, and I'll kind of go through it with y'all. So I do have my new yarn in here from Capella Luna Fibers, and this yarn from not Picky Knitter, the Plucky Knitter. I want to pair these together for a linto, and I think I talked about this last podcast episode, but so I have it all ready to go. Like, I have what I need. I need to, of course, whip this up into a cake, but not literal cake. The way I phrased that made it sound like literal cake, but I just mean use, my gosh, what do you call that? Yarn winder and wind it up. I'm just really afraid to cast on a sweater because I'm enjoying doing little projects right now that don't stress me out. Like, they're just on needles for a couple weeks and they're off, and it's like low effort, they just kind of like serve me in a good way. It's a easy peasy to knit on when I want to project. So I'm kind of afraid to cast this on, but I know I'll enjoy it. I think I just am afraid that I'm going to give myself a deadline of this spring, or like I'll be upset if I can't wear it this year yet, if I don't finish it in time for before like the cold weather goes away. I don't know. So I don't know. I might cast it on today. I might at least get this yarn ready because I'm excited to see what this will look like together. But I also don't want a helical knit, so I'm afraid of pooling a little bit. But I might just have to embrace any color pools because I don't want a helical knit, personally. So that is something I might cast on. Also, of course, y'all saw this last time, my sock set from Capella Luna Fibers as well. I kind of want to knit some textured socks with this, and I thought about casting these on my long US one and doing magic loop. Just one at a time for now. So I don't know. I still haven't really decided. I also found a lace pattern, the Aviva socks, that I might want to knit, and it just has like a very subtle lacy pattern and broken rib as well going on. And I believe the sample, maybe I'll put a picture of it up here, is knit in a variegated yarn, and it still looks really nice. Sometimes lace and variegated yarns just like clash to me because you can't really see the lace, but that was my initial thought for these. But maybe I'll do some like more basic texture. I don't know. Not sure. Undecided. And then I also have this skein, which my sock swap partner last year gave me. It's so pretty. It's Explore Knit and Fibers Serengeti on Rocky's DK. So it is 274 yards of 100% superwash merino. And I thought about casting on another hat. Maybe just like the hipster hat because I have that pattern from Petite Knit. Or maybe a different hat. I don't know. I've been really enjoying hats recently. I guess I've only knit one for myself. But I also, there was a cold one day here and I went to the bookstore by myself, child-free outing, and I wore I think it's just called the Beanie by ZZ Textiles that I knit last year, and I forgot how much I loved the look, like the look of that hat. It's so nice. It is kind of like the Oslo hat by Petite Knit, or even the Muscle Burrow. Like, it's not as layered, I don't think. It doesn't have as many layers inside of it, but I would say more so like the Oslo hat. It looks like it's like that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have enough yarn to do that, but I might do a 1x1. Oh yeah, like a 1x1 hat maybe. I don't have a 1x1 hat. I don't know, just like thoughts. But I'm also have decision fatigue, as always. I just don't want to decide to do anything. Casting on's hard for me sometimes. I don't know. Those are my thoughts, and I just thought I'd share that. Maybe I'll cast this on next. But I can also go with something very different. Or maybe I'll just like immediately finish the sock and then cast on the second one. That would be nice. And then I can have these done months in advance. Or I could not. Or I could knit the second sock like in a couple months. I don't know. We'll see. But that's all I got for y'all today. Thanks for sticking around. I feel like I rambled a lot as always. But it was fun catching up. And yeah, I guess I'll see y'all next time.